What is that?
Love you so much, Felix.
This year's Oscars won't include a popular film category like the Academy once proposed, but many of your favorites will still be there. Campaigning for an Oscar takes a lot of work, but nothing like the work that went into actually making the movie. From groundbreaking visual effects to daring stunts to layers of makeup, there's a lot to admire from this year's Oscar nominees. Here's what 2019's Oscar nominees looked like behind the scenes. Few movies in the last decade have altered our culture as much as Black Panther did.
Okay, I have to ask. Fuck, dude. I can't watch it unless I ask. Okay, you know this right here? Even though they're very good actors and very good stuntmen, right? Does this still kind of hurt them a little bit? Does it, you know?
Few movies in the last decade have altered our culture as much as Black Panther did in 2018. Its showing at the Oscars proves that it took blockbuster filmmaking to new heights. The movie involves a lot of demanding stunt work from the cast for each intense fight scene. Yes, Denai Guerrero really did use a wig as a defense mechanism, and yes, Chadwick Boseman did kick a guy across a field, with the help of a few wires. Meanwhile,
that's cool.
Michael B. Jordan went to set every day and was covered in around 3,000 prosthetic dots. Makeup artist Joel Harlow told us the fake scars were made to withstand the actor's more physical scenes, as well as the ones where he got wet. And a studio in Atlanta was convincingly transformed into Wakanda. That space came complete with bustling city streets and a waterfall that would become Warrior Falls.
Jesus.
Horror movies are often overlooked during awards season, but this box office and critical success was too impressive for the Oscars to ignore. While the movie produced scares from its lack of sound, the ways it did use sound were impressive. The film's sound team used a strange array of objects to make Foley sound. Crab legs perfectly captured the sound of the monsters walking. A combination of celery and romaine lettuce would make the sound of an ear opening. To figure out the monster's spine-chilling echolocation sounds, the team did some experimenting and discovered the best way to do it was by tasering a patch of grapes and then slowing the sound down.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude. We see some guy do sound design like that in like his studio. It was sick.
There'll always be a place for period pieces at the Oscars. The historical epic, centering around Mary Queen of Scots and Queen Elizabeth I, and starring Margot Robbie and Saoirse Ronan, is notable for its costumes.
Wait, chat, are you kidding me? Is this Margot? This shit?
Notable for its costumes, makeup, hair pieces, and sets.
That's ruined, dude. Ruined.
The movie was shot on location around the United Kingdom and Scotland. The stars acted with a literal army of extras.
Here is a juice of it to watch while you eat smile.
Thanks, man. I'll click it. I would win
The Favorite
Best
plays
Actor.
a bit more fast and loose with history, but it's still flawless.
Guys, the static sound comes from the VR. Should I unplug it? You guys can hear the static sound, right? I'll unplug it. Sorry about that. I didn't think about it. Should be gone now.
Seamlessly immerses the audience in 18th century British aristocratic life. The costumes and wigs are eye-popping and elaborate. The movie was shot at Hatfield House in England. They stripped many of the beautiful rooms in the palace and built a massive bath as well as Abigail's room.
First Man, I didn't even see this movie.
The reception to First Man, which chronicles Neil Armstrong's trip to the moon, was mixed. But one thing nobody can deny is that it's visually stunning. Its set pieces are as historically accurate as possible.
XQC
Production designer Nathan Crowley told us that the lunar module and space capsule were built to scale. Meanwhile, the Saturn V model seen in the movie was actually just 14 feet tall. That's about 1/25th the size of the actual rocket.
That's cool as shit, though.
Some of the models could even move. In some scenes, to convincingly replicate zero gravity, they put the camera below the actors, a technique that has been used in many movies set in space. The moon landing sequence, which was shot in IMAX, will actually make you feel like you're walking on
I knew it, dude. I knew it was fake. They finally revealed their cards, dude. It was fake the whole time.
Some parts of this sequence were shot in a quarry. Other parts were shot on a very convincing looking soundstage. The stunts were equally impressive. Gosling allowed himself to be launched out of a capsule and then got dragged around in the movie's most daring stunt.
This is sick, dude. That's a lot of fight nominations, dude. Holy shit.
What sets A Star Is Born apart is that all the concert scenes were filmed live, and Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga are always performing together. Even for two people as talented as them, they still had to rehearse a lot. A big part of the production was sound editing, which required layering multiple sounds in a single scene, including the vocals, all of which were sung live.
She said talent cap. Was that a good movie?
Wes Anderson's second stop-motion animated feature was one of the best animated movies of 2018. It's staggering just to look at the numbers behind the movie. Isle of Dogs animators were working with around 1,105 puppets on set. A single sushi making sequence from the movie took 6 to 8 months to bring to life. Animators, meanwhile, had to use pins and wooden sticks to move the dog's eyeballs and lips around to make the characters move realistically.
Jesus,
The
dude.
animators even painstakingly moved the fur around to give the impression that dog's fur was blowing in the wind. Stop-motion animation requires faces to get changed out for each different mood and emotion. Andy Gent, the head of the movie's puppet department, told us that the character's fur made this process much more difficult than usual.
Did you guys even know all this when you watched the movie? Could you tell? Yeah? I'm sorry, dude. Holy shit. One nomination. Thank you, Sammy.
Marvel's most ambitious movie yet didn't quite get the same awards love as Black Panther, but it still managed to make an appearance. The biggest standout technical aspect of the latest Avengers was Josh Brolin's towering performance as Thanos. The actor performed in a motion capture suit for a character who would then be created using CGI. Because Thanos is so tall, Brolin often acted with an object on top of his head. That way, actors would know where exactly they should be looking. Motion capture technology has gotten so good that Thanos felt real. Honestly, it's about time the Academy starts taking motion capture performances more seriously.
Wait, what? They do, though. And they're gonna. They don't? Okay.
The long-awaited sequel involved a cast of very committed actors. Meanwhile, production designers created a very accurate version of 1930s London inside a studio.
Wait, that's crazy.
For this shot,
Wait, that is actually crazy. It's in studio.
in which Mary Poppins falls into a bathtub, They built a giant slide beneath the tub that Emily Blunt had to slide down backwards.
That's cool. Placements?
Watch.
The long-awaited sequel involved a cast of very committed actors. Meanwhile, production is...
If you go through the full dono without skipping, you'll actually gift 5 subs, no cap, inverted excla.
Okay.